Hello, everybody, and welcome back, Global Sports Network, on a Friday morning. John, the sun came out this morning. Everything looks great. 68 degrees. Fall weather is here. Guys, we're in the fall, and of course, you know what fall means. Fall means football, John.
Football.
And, right.
Come
And
on.
along with football, this weekend, tomorrow, Saturday, we're having that great big event.
Good game last night. Yep. Dolphins kind of put it together. Fitzgerald showing up and doing what Fitzgerald does. Plays a great game and then doesn't play a good game, or he can play a great game. Completed his first 12 passes, Chris. Took the Dolphins for 3 touchdowns, which I was happy to see because I'm a Dolphin fan. Well, I used to be. I'm a Texan fan now. But, from Miami, and Dolphins used to be my team until I really switched over to the Texans.
So who won that game last night?
So the Dolphins beat the Jags.
Jags.
Wow. So they
course,
did us a favor.
Same division, right, as the Texans, right? And what we're looking at right now, John, we're looking at a lot of the NFL teams are just barely becoming to gel a little bit. The chemistry's coming together.
Yep.
And one of the things that we're going to be looking at, John, and of course today is, is the Texans chemistry going to be gelling soon, because fans are just coming on out saying, guys, this better be, because it's 3 or 4 years now of the same thing, 0-5, 0-4, 0-3. And yeah, okay, you go 9-7 and 10-6, and you go to the postseason for one game and you're done. I mean, we're pretty much tired of that, John.
No doubt.
So we talked about the Steelers. We talk about who they are and who they've been as a franchise. And of course, they're our nemesis, as you know, from the Houston Oilers days.
That's right.
I know you were in Miami, but a lot of that is deeply rooted here in Houston, where it's Houston Oilers, love you blue. This was back in the 70s, late 80s, John.
They were both of our enemies, Dolphins and the Oilers, and now the Texans. Well, and they've been known for dirty football, so they're bringing in that tough, mean, #1 defense in the NFL.
The mentality.
You got me saying the Dolphins. The Texans really got their hands full here, Chris. Deshaun Watson is going to be under duress most of the. If he doesn't get rid of that football, or they come up with a good game plan, because they have, out of the 3 of the top 6 players in the National Football League as far as hits on the quarterback. They have 3 in the top 6.
Right. Deshaun Watson takes way too many hits, most of them not needing to take them, John.
Right.
Just stuff that shouldn't happen. You should have offensive team, offensive guard, linemen. They're going to protect the quarterback, John. That's what they're there for. And so far, don't see that. It seems as though every new season they start over with the linemen, and you say, okay, this is your job, and this is what you're supposed to do, and this is your coverage, and this is your responsibility. You don't have to do that. They're getting paid, John. They're grown-ups. They've been doing this for a long time. They should know who and how to block whoever's coming. They should know their assignment. Deshaun Watson should know who's coming on the blitz and from what side and where, and he still doesn't know. John,
there's a lot of confusion, no doubt, Chris. There's a lot of confusion on the offensive line. Why? There's a lot of talk around town. A few people putting in their 2 cents on. The linemen are confused. They're making it complicated. It's not simple. The Texans have one of the most complicated offenses. This is throughout the league. Most people know this in the league. One of the most complicated offenses in the league, and it's not, but it still doesn't come up with great plays. It's like, it's complicated, but it's not, you don't see some great stuff from it. So, I don't know. It's complicated, but it doesn't work, Bill O'Brien who's in charge of the offense, it's still Bill O'Brien, or Bill O'Brien's little
Tim
brother,
Kelly.
Or his protege. And so far it hasn't been good. So it's got to change. The lingo's the same. The play is the same. It's not changing. There's no RPOs really.
Right.
There's no Deshaun Watson running. There's no threat to run. Like you said, Chrissy, they're still trying to run it like it's Tom Brady back there. And Deshaun Watson's not Tom Brady, and he needs to be Deshaun Watson.
Right. And he's not a pocket quarterback by any extension of the word, pocket quarterback. If that's what Bill O'Brien is trying to make him, then Bill O'Brien doesn't know anything about football, because you have to know the talent, and you have to use the best of that person who's talented. If he's a quarterback, you have to use the best that he has.
He can run. He's a very capable runner, and you don't have to run him all the time. Not like Lamar Jackson. You don't have to do that, but you have to run him, 5 to 10 times, 5 to 12 times, just to keep the defense, on their heels a little bit.
You know what, John? And in this game, sad news. Too bad, so sad. But this next game, Heinz Field, you're gonna have Roethlisberger junking at you and throwing at you, and you better have everyone in your defense prepped and ready.
Well, they should
on the other side of the ball. They are 68 to 70% a blitzing team. They're going to bring it, John. If you couldn't handle 3 or 4 guys coming at you, you're not going to be able to handle 6, 7, or 8 guys coming at you this week.
Should be a good time. What do you think? For some screenplays, some draws, maybe? I think so. Let's see. Passes.
If Bill O'Brien uses his tools wisely, and his tools, of course, you're looking at, even though we were talking about David Johnson and he had the last game, let's use him a little bit more, and let's use that combination of Johnson and Deshaun Watson, on a counter play or screen play, or even a receiver screen play, John.
The Steelers do have the number 1 defense in the league and the number 1 against the rush. So we shouldn't be looking to rush the ball. We should be looking to pass. They do have a susceptible pass defense. And what are we known for? We got all the speed and the wide receivers.
That's right.
So hopefully we can get that cooking this week, and they're going to need to.
Do you remember when we got Will Fuller? Everybody's like, "Oh, so great now! Now we got a deep man. Now we can throw it deep, throw it short." And we haven't heard that. We haven't heard the big hurrahs for William Fuller. It hasn't been like I've just
Randall
gave you the
Cobb.
example.
Hopefully he can come through, but Kiki Kuti, not Coco.
Maybe we put him at fullback. It'll work out.
Has really the other week he was having a good game till he fumbled. Explosive. I think that he's a lot faster. He's running around out there. So, and then once he fumbled, Bill O'Brien took him out of the game.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have. He was a factor in that game until he fumbled. You got to give a guy confidence. Why? So, and then JJ. What was JJ? JJ only played 65% of the snaps in that game. What's that all about?
One of the things I heard about that is because, of course, he's no longer a spring chicken, so he's a little up in age with a groin injury, and he had a severe groin injury a few years ago. And I believe that is still somewhat chronic, John. So that's kind of retaining him. Yeah, he's coming out in place.
Talking about it, but that was I thought that was really weird.
Third and fourth, usually third and fourth downs,
and he was on the sideline.
Right. Third and fourth downs, he's usually there, John.
And that's when they were taking off and running. I saw the guy running. I saw JJ sitting over there on the side. Who's running against JJ's side of the line?
Nobody.
I don't think so.
It's never been like that.
So I don't know how they did that or why they did that. And then JJ
If that's the case, then you rest him first and second down and play him third and fourth down, John.
There you go.
I mean, if that's what you're looking at. If we're trying not to injure him or re-injure the groin, John, then that's what you want to do. You don't want to take him completely out of the place, John, but at least first and second down, throw him in there third and fourth down.
Chris, we're not the only ones that are upset here. All of Houston, there's a lot of people rooting for the Texans to actually lose. To get,
see, maybe we get rid of Bill O'Brien. Yeah. That's what the theory
that's a tough
guess
one.
There.
And I think he feels that he's under fire. Right. If we can win this game, which Bill O'Brien and the Texans are very capable of doing, it can really start the season. If we lose this game, it starts something else, which is a barn fire.
Right.
It's going to get really ugly. It's not that it's over. We do have the hardest schedule in the NFL.
Well, you got to remember, on the good note for the folks, for the fans, and even for the Texans, the next game, October 4th, against the Vikings, is here at home, and we won't have fans there, John. So we're going to give them a little help. We're going to put some fans in there for the Texans to motivate them. Yes, a little bit more.
It'd be nice to be 1-2 and going into that game, and then maybe finish that game at 2-2. If we can do that, we still might have a year, Chris. If not, if it's 0-3 going in against Minnesota,
I see they're going into maybe a break, 1-5, 1-6.
A lot of people do.
If so, John.
It's not completely over, but the statistics say if they lose this game, it's like a 3% chance. 3% chance of not making the playoffs.
It's funny. I gave John one day. I was this week. I think it was Tuesday. I gave him the example of, I guess, a plane. Sorry example, and I apologize for all you folks. But when a plane nosedives, there ain't no chance, hardly a chance, that you're gonna bring it back up. It's just gonna keep going and going and going. And unfortunately,
there's no turning around?
there's no picking up like in the movies.
You
pull it back and
you're talking about a big plane, right?
Right. So
the
then
whole
I'm like,
team.
Yes, the whole big football. And then after I said it, everybody in broadcasting said it. Wonder why? You think maybe they heard me, John?
I think they heard you, Chris.
Point being is, once your plane is here and it's a nosedive, there's nothing that can bring it back up. And right now, the Texans are starting it. They need to stop it, John.
Yeah.
And this is
starts right
a
here
critical game today.
And they got to do it.
Once the wheels come off, as they say, the old cliche.
Yeah.
That's it.
You
can throw it in the basket and say next year.
So you're saying that this is the game that they got to pull it up. Well, there's a big thing happening at the game too. That's I think it's only happened one time in the last 100 years of football. What is that, Chris?
That is, you have the 3 Watt brothers playing in the same game. Although it did happen last year with the Terrell brothers, Edmund, Trey, and I forget the other gentleman's name. But all 3 of those brothers also played last season. And this season, you're looking at the Steelers having 3 of the brothers. Okay, well, 2 of them, and the Texans having the other, J.J. Watt.
Who are the parents rooting for in this situation?
That's what we're discussing right now, John. Who do you think that the parents are going to go for? I knew that question was coming.
You know what? I think they'd probably want J.J. to win because if not, J.J. is going to have a rough year, and they don't want to see J.J. have a rough year. The 2 other brothers are off to a great start. If they lose the game, it's not the end of the world. J.J. loses it, it's the end of the world. He's already in a bad mood.
Part of the success that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had in the rush game has been TJ's
right? A monster.
TJ,
right?
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, and then of course on the offensive side, not too many balls are given to him, fullback, but Derek, his younger brother, if I'm not mistaken, is a fullback, and he's gotten some work. The word is that he may get a fullback.
Get a lot more work.
Might give him a gift, so
really?
He can
to let him play
run it, see if JJ can hit him.
That
would be great.
I was listening to JJ talking about his brother Derek, and that kid was he owns more high school records than anybody in high school. Now it is up in Wisconsin. It's not Texas.
Wisconsin.
So Texas football is a little more solid, but the guy was a stud. And JJ and his brother's talking about the younger brother. It's something else. He really he's a player. So I look for it. I'd like to see him, get tackled behind the bait.
I would just like to see Derek hold the ball and run it, see how he runs. I was watching last week's game and I said I think that's him, but I wasn't too sure. I wasn't very patient. I changed the channel. So we'll see. We'll see what the talent's all about. Yeah. Let's see who can outdo who. But I think parents might be well inclined to go with JJ. But if it's me, I'm going with the other fellas. Because they haven't made as much money as JJ, and they need to look good.
I know the parents they were trying to get, and JJ made a little comment, well, let's see what kind of pull TJ has to try to get him out there, the parents into it. Because, the protocol and everything, the parents, it's just not that easy.
They're trying to sneak in, or they want to. They're not trying. They want to.
Anybody in. You get the okay, and then you go through the protocol, which the
protocol
is a hard thing to do.
Protocol right now is nobody in the stands, nobody, period.
Right.
So this may be a case where they might get special treatment, and they might
do it
in the back, in the dressing room or whatnot. So possibly something like that.
Yeah, but still, I think you got to do a week's testing or something. They need to be going through that protocol. Definitely. And now we're days before the game. So if they're just thinking of this now, I don't think it's happening.
I don't believe it's happening
either.
Yeah. Well, it would have been sweet and nice for the parents to have that. I know myself and my 2 other brothers, we played on the same softball team, which is not the same team, same thing, but being together, there's a little bit of continuity. There's a little chemistry that you share when you have brothers on the field.
Right.
That you can just feel that energy, the power.
Right.
And my brothers and I, we beat a big team. We beat a very big team. We were only 14. We were playing men that were 28, 29, 30, and 34.
Well, you're here at the Edge, and I think we're going to take a little break. We'll get back. We'll talk some basketball, playoffs, and some baseball.
We got to talk some voting because we're going to have that voting event.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
All right. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
大家好，我是傅凯，这是我的好朋友 Chris Holland.
I'm Chris Holland, your Harris County clerk.
Yes, 9月26号礼拜六下午4点钟以后，你可以到我们这个 Midtown Bar and Grill， 这是城中间有一个酒吧，我们大家来庆祝，我们可以来做选举，可以 就是 register， 也可以注册，然后选举，然后我们有一些画展，有些音乐表演现场，所以大家不要忘记了，最好赶快来参加我们的这个很好的节目，还有很好的意义，所以大家可以一起见面谈一谈选票的事情，然后的话，大家可以享受音乐、食物，还有画艺术这方都集中在一起呀。不要忘记了，9月26号礼拜六下午4点钟以后到10点。
Hope to see you there.
Yeah， 谢谢。
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Of course, now, John, we're just talking about our event coming up Saturday. Can you tell the folks what we're having Saturday?
Well, I think you're the one. You got a performer coming here, don't you? You want me to talk about it?
I sure do. I want to be fair and let him talk a little bit.
Yeah.
But tomorrow we're having the big voting registry event here at Midtown Grill and Cafe, and in that we're going to have some talent, John. We're going to have singing. We're going to have food. From 4 to, what is it? Happy hour 4 to 8.
4 to 8.
Right, that's where we're at. So then, guys, come on over, join us. We're going to have the registry event, basically registering to vote for the elections, general elections in November.
You can come upstairs and watch the shows. The
right,
shows
we're
are
also
going to
have
be
live shows.
Here,
right,
Vince?
right.
We got a few shows going on besides the live band downstairs. With who's the singer?
Oh, I forgot to tell you last week, guys. Just signed Ryan Ray. Of course, is her stage name. That's who she's gonna be.
Okay.
I just signed her as my artist. She has a beautiful, beautiful voice, and so we've started recording. John, she's on her 3rd song.
You're cutting some tracks.
We're already cutting tracks for her already.
She gonna sing some of those songs that you guys recorded?
No, because John,
that's new
stuff. No, the way it works, the way it works is you got to make the song first. Then you practice a song. Then you practice a song with your band if you have one.
Right.
She should have one. We're looking at about 3 or 4 months' time, John, before she can sing anything. Okay. I don't want her singing anything live because, of course, if she's not prepared, she's not ready. Yeah. And she doesn't know the song, she's gonna sound terrible. Right. And if you're a professional and producer, then you're gonna know that you just can't throw an artist out there, no matter how talented he or she is.
But she's been singing a long time, so she's gonna sing some of her old songs.
She's gonna sing everything that's jazz from the late 20s to
and that's
present.
Gonna be on. There's a nice porch out here in Is it Montrose? Yeah, I guess this is Montrose, right?
What was Midtown, I think?
Midtown? Midtown Bar and Grill.
West Gray.
Midtown.
Right, we're on West Gray, John. We're on
West Gray.
Yeah. So very basically, that's what we're going to have. Some special guests also that you'll be able to take pictures with and shake hands and whatnot. Guys, so we invite you guys to come. That's tomorrow, Saturday, from 4 to 8. Okay? Right. John, moving on. Let's finish off the Texans with versus the Steelers, or Steelers versus Texans, whichever way you want to look at it. There's a lot of history going into this, John. You have the old Steelers, the steel curtain. We love you Blue Days. I mean, you have all that riding into this, John. You have all the meanness and dirtiness that the Steelers bring with that name, and you have the toughness that Roethlisberger brings.
Yes,
quarterback
he does.
is so tough to bring down.
John. He can't run that fast, even though he took off in one of the game last week. So he still have some hose. He can hoof it down the field. He's smart. He's hard to bring down. If you don't tackle him right, you'll bounce right off of him.
Right.
And he'll stand in there. He's willing to take that hit and still deliver the pass. He's been pretty good this year. Considering he didn't play last year, so he's come right back and he's looking like he's getting back to Roethlisberger form. Right. And with that great defense, the Steelers are considered a Super Bowl contender.
Well, they're looking right now. If they win the way if they're winning now, they could be looking at a first round bye, John. Home field advantage, whatnot. First round bye for the Steelers if they happened. If today ended the game, today ended the NFL, and we're going to the playoffs, they would get the first round bye.
Well, they're 2-0.
So that's what they got to fight
they're
for.
Probably going to be 3-0 the way you're looking at it on Sunday,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at. Like I said, I gave the Texans as much of a chance, which is more than what they had last week.
Yes.
Correct. So let's look at that, John. Let's move on into basketball.
Right.
Who's doing what and how the
Lakers
doing?
My Denver's not stacking up too well right now. They're down 3-1 again. Big surprise. Wow. This is the third time now in this playoff series run that they're down 3-1.
3-1.
So they've done it twice before. Can they do it a third time? A lot of people say no. Especially playing LeBron and they got the team. LeBron's pulling his muscle out. They should have. They had a good chance to win Game 2. They could be up. It could be a 2-all series here. Last night, referees. I don't know. LeBron. People are talking. There are some fouls. There's not a foul. I mean, late in the game when you're in there by 2-3 points and there's not a foul called, and then it swings back to 5, 6, 7.
My rule of thumb on that is this.
Yeah.
That if it's an obvious foul, it's a postseason, it's late in that game.
Yeah. I
call it. If it's a 50-50, I don't know, couldn't tell.
Right.
You don't call it.
Well, it was a foul. LeBron fouled them. They didn't call it. They brought it back down the court, and it just never got. But you can't blame it on that. If they're going to win that game, it's just like I was listening to somebody compare it last night on a late night talk show, and it's just like being the heavyweight champion of the world, or you're the champion of the world. That other guy has to beat you. Right, There's going to be some calls, and you have some favors. LeBron's the king. Everybody knows that. He's going. He's getting harassed all the time. He's always fouled every time to stop him. So you got to pick which one. What are you going to call a foul every time LeBron gets the ball? Almost. He's getting fouled. It's which one's you going to call. So that's a two-way street. I won't lay it on that last night, but that's going to be in every game.
I had a question for you, John. I know you told the folks that you had a lot of experience in boxing, and in boxing, if you don't do what your trainer tells you, throw a right hook instead of a left one,
right,
and you get knocked out, does a trainer chew you out? I mean, what happens?
Well,
besides getting knocked out,
if you're not listening to your trainer, then you're going to have a problem winning. And then not only that, but that's a miscommunication. That's not good.
Yeah.
The trainer's there to be able, but not only that, they need to know how to motivate you. Working for Dundee, that's the one thing he's able to do through the years. He worked with Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, motivating, how to motivate. Everybody's motivated.
And I'm going to assume, without a doubt, there has to be a lot of trust, John.
Trust, complete trust. And I know, I did a world title fight in Kiel, Germany for Angelo with Rick Mandris. And the guy, I was looking at a situation. I watched the guy work out in the gym all the time. It's left jab, left hook, and he rocks the bag, this guy. And it was sitting right there. That wasn't the world title fight. This was another fight. We had 3 fights going on. One was the world. George Scott beat, no, that wasn't Rafael Ruelas. That was another fight. George Scott won the world title. I wasn't there for that one, but I did work with George Scott at the time. But in one of the fights in Kiel, Germany, the guy he would hit him with the jab, And then the guy would lean right in for the left hook.
Oh, wow.
And I was watching this, and I work out with this guy all the time. I know his thing: jab, left hook, jab, left hook. So I turned to Rick, and I'm like, Rick, he's got a jab, left hook. We got this. And Rick just looks at me and goes, ain't gonna happen, John. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says he trains that way, but he doesn't fight that way. Oh. I was blown away. I'm like, just tell him, sit down. But I'm not. I was really the spit bucket boy in the corner. I wasn't the, Rick had been working with Angelo for 15 years.
And I wanted to ask you also, what about rumors? Do you like rumors, John?
Rumors. What rumors are we talking about?
We're talking about maybe some trade rumors.
Oh,
after the season with
about
maybe Rockets.
I don't know. Chris, you threw that at me today.
I threw a little wrench at him.
Predicting that.
Well, very basically, I've told John, I'm not a fan. Period. I'm just not a very big fan of one individual person because I believe that I exist on a team, whether I'm the leader or I'm the follower, and if I'm on the Rockets team, I want to think that everybody on that team is part of the team and not an individual. And there's a lot of unneeded, unnecessary awards being sent to number 13, and I believe that's one of the reasons why the Texans can't and are not able to get over the Rockets. Are not able to get over the hump, John.
Yeah, the Rockets. We've been there. We're right there with Chris Paul. We actually should have had it. It was right there at the doorstep for taking. So I mean. Now you got me going. Rocket fans, you can't be.
It feels like a Monday.
You can't be unhappy with what the product that the Rockets have put out there. Dale Murray, he's produced some great stuff. First Chris Paul, now Westbrook. You have the team. I don't know about trading them. I think you need to bring in some pieces, especially bring in a coach.
Again, it's just a rumor, John. I love rumors. Usually get those right after the season. Oh, this should have happened. That should have. What about if we can get this happen? It's almost like one of those fantasy games, John.
Yeah.
But for the fans, you want to seriously think about that as a rumor, and then seriously think about it later on as a possibility. For me, it would be great if it was a possibility. It was in the realm of possibility. Right now, it's not. It's just a rumor.
It's just a rumor, yeah. Well, we also need a coach too. So I know Sam Cassell is probably
we discussed that the other day,
top
John.
Seeds, and then you got Van Gundy, who I think would be a good fit. But like we were talking the other day. What's going to come down to is Fertitta and the general manager. What kind of ball do they want to run? Small ball, the new coach coming in, whoever it is, whether it's Van Gundy or Cassell's or whoever, they got to come in and say, look, I'm going to do this and sell that to the owner and the general manager, mostly the general manager. Okay? Well, he's got an idea what kind of ball he's want to play. What I would suggest is that you get somebody that comes in that can do everything.
Right. Well, John,
that's what I would call
that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That if you're going to have, I think you look at, depending on what the coach is going to, if you're going to get Cassell, then you have to believe that that's going to come with a center, that center is going to be able to kick the ball out to the perimeter. Right. And we discussed this the other day, kind of like the 92, 93, 94 Rockets that did that. Or Olajuwon was not able to do anything with it, so he'd pass it to
what's
Cassell.
Important, too, is when you bring in Cassell, you bring in Van Gundy. Who did they bring in with them? They also have to bring in a staff of coaches.
That is correct.
So when you go and you're interviewing for this job and talking to, probably, I don't know if Fertitta gets involved in this. That's more the general. Right. That's why Fertitta hired a general manager to take care of this. Okay? And Daryl Morey's well equipped to do that and has done a great job, I think, for Houston. Sorry. We've been the second, sometimes even the first. We were the first seeds at one point.
Sure we were.
So, we've been 1, 2, 3, top 4 in the league for the last 5 years or so.
Oh, so
you can't complain about that.
We've been number 1, number 2, or number 3, right?
He's getting the pieces. He's doing some unbelievable moves. I expect him to make another move, whether it's to get rid of Harden and bring in a couple other different superstars, or to hang on to Harden and Westbrook and add to the pie with a coach that can work with these two guys and maybe one other superstar. But one thing that we're learning here, Denver, who's coming up, they don't have a lot of. They got 2 good superstars on the rise, so we're watching that, Djokovic and.
I almost don't want the Rockets to have a superstar. If they can just have a tall man in the center and a forward that can do his job, and everybody else in the perimeter that can actually hit a three when they throw it, when they shoot it, I would be happy with that. Yeah. A no-name players would be great. And then guess what? That way there aren't any expectations like there has been for the past 5 years. And if they get to the postseason, you're like, oh my gosh, these are all unexperienced players, and we did a hell of a job because guess what? We're in the playoffs.
Well,
okay?
that's a long shot. I think Denver's kind of looked at that way right now. How about the Heat, Chris? They're up 3-1 in their series.
Wow, I like
Looks
the
like
Heat.
They're going to take out Larry Butler, who's playing off the hook. He's going to the next level to that. He's already a superstar.
Sure.
He's working on his Hall of Fame career now. So we'll see. That should be interesting. If Denver can't pull it off and Boston can't come back, we're looking at a Miami, LA NBA Finals. But we'll see. Maybe Denver has something in the bucket. They've done it twice before, down 3-1. But
all I know that whatever happens after the season, for all purposes, for the Houston team, Houston Rockets, it has to be something done. It has to be a change for the permanent and for the better.
Right.
Because right now, I mean, like I said before, attending, being invited at a final is not the same thing as winning a final, John.
Right.
Playing in a final is not the same as winning a final. And that's what we need right now.
That's what we
won
need.
one since the 90s, so, we're due.
Well, we got one team that's hopefully headed to the playoffs, Chris, in Major League Baseball. Our Astros won last night.
Well, they won last night.
Yeah, they did.
Well, their magic number was 2. So now it should be 1.
They need 1, or they need the Angels to lose a game. So either way, we win one more game.
Yeah, combination of win lose. Combination
either
win
way,
lose. Right.
One
and they're
those
playing in Arlington, are they not?
I think we have 3 games left. I'm not sure.
3 games left in Arlington. It was a 4-game series
against Texas,
right.
And Texas
is the last 4.
Supposedly not a good team, so we should get one of those wins. Hopefully, we get it sooner than later, so we can rest some of these guys.
I believe it's in their new stadium, Globe Field, John.
Rest.
Globe Field, their new stadium.
What's that? Yeah.
They're playing Globe Field.
Globe Field. Yeah.
They're in Arlington.
Yeah.
And just wanted to give you a quick note. I went over this with John the other day on a Wednesday, that due to COVID, this year January marked the 55th anniversary of the Houston Astros being named the Houston Astros. Right before that, they were the Colt 45s, 55.
55 years.
Before that, there were Colt 45s from 61 to 64, John. And in 65, they became the Houston Astros. And 10 years ago, I was part of that celebration with the Astros, John.
You were?
That's the only reason I remember. Yes, of course.
Were you 9 years old?
El Dorado News. No. In 2010, as media, I was part of their celebration. And
with the 50 years.
printed a front cover for them. And
I thought you were talking about 50 years ago.
Oh, no.
You were around.
No, this was 2010.
You're not that old.
Yeah, in 2010 I printed and celebrated with
either.
them their 45th year. And before that, they were the Colt 45s, and they used to play in the old Polo Grounds. And of course, in 65, that's when they had the 8th wonder of the world, the Astrodome.
The
of course,
Astrodome. That's still sitting over there.
You know who was there?
Who was there?
We had the Beatles, and we had Elvis Presley.
And you were there for those?
No, I just know the facts.
He's not 50 years old yet. I could have been
I'm not that old, man. I'm not that old, guys.
Yeah,
I'm still in my 20s, okay?
Yeah, and I'm younger than him, so.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we're here at the Edge, 101.7 Galveston FM and 1540 AM Houston. So I hope people are listening out there. And one of these days, Vince, we're going to be able to get some calls in here at some point. Yeah, he's shaking his head. He says, definitely, Mr. Hernandez. Well, we're going to take a little break. Is that correct?
Right. That's it, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to have a little mini break. We'll be right back in a few seconds. Thank you.
And we're back with Athletes United Experience on Edge Radio, and where truth still matters. As a side note, viewers, the Art and Jazz Fest voter registration drive, and as we talked about this earlier, will be held right here at the Midtown Bar and Grill, September 26th, beginning at 4 p.m. That is the Art Jazz Fest voter registration drive. So come on out, prepare to complete your civic duty, and vote your consciousness. Okay. As we broke, we're talking to Dr. Crystal Mark here, and she had...
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Global Sports Network with John Foster. Guys, we're going to talk tennis.
Tennis, yes.
Coach.
Well, here we
going
go.
on?
We got the French Open qualifying going on right now, Chris. Getting ready for the French Open. They moved it behind the U.S. Open after canceling it with the COVID. And they're having the same type of problems that we had, the United States USTA had with the COVID. You know, a couple people testing positive. They are into the qualifying rounds. They're going to get through it. Hopefully, they can deal with it the same way the USTA did a great job in getting through the U.S. Open. So I'm looking forward to seeing the French Open. You know, the French is you got Nadal, Djokovic. You got more players playing. Some of them didn't come over, Chris.
Right, we
and
talked
they said
about
it was
that.
because they said it was because of the COVID, but
Right.
a lot of times, traveling over here, going back and forth, going through the protocol, even though they were talking about getting it where it wasn't, you didn't have to do 9 days or whatever when you travel country to country.
Right.
So, but still, some players elected not to come, and the U.S. Open, hats off. They did a good job of running it. Hopefully the French can do that also, and we'll have a great French Open. It's very different going from the hard courts to the clay courts, Chris.
That is what we talked about, yes, sir.
Yeah, we were talking about, and I hear the clay is real, it's playing slow. So, that's not a good thing for Nadal. You don't want that slow clay. He likes that ball bouncing and kicking with all of his topspin,
Right, right.
So,
well, we discussed the difference between the clay courts and with having a back game,
right.
Clay courts with foreigners, especially folks coming from South America, versus Americans or otherwise that are used to a regular court, and their back game is not as good as the other folks, John.
Right. Well,
can you tell us why, John?
Tennis has changed a lot nowadays, Chris, where not a lot of people are going to the net, and on clay, really, you need more game on clay because you can't just win with the big serve and a big forehand. You need slice. There's a lot more balls played. You need to have great balance. You're sliding around the court. Right. It's a lot longer matches because the ball, so endurance comes in a little bit, or a lot actually. You do a 4 or 5 hour match on clay. It's hard.
Right.
Hard courts is hard.
When the ball, I know a lot of folks are going to ask this, but when let's just say I serve the ball to you,
yep.
When the ball hits the clay, Does it retard the bounce? Does it retard the ball at all? Does it slow it down?
It slows it down, yeah. A hard court, the ball's going to go through the court more. On grass, it's going to skid and go through the court more. On clay, it tends to bounce up higher, Chris. Slow down and bounce up high.
Higher, right.
Higher, right. And, if you have...
So then if you don't practice as much like South American players do and are used to a strong backcourt,
right?
Does that not help the folks that don't have as much game or practice on a clay court? It doesn't help them, does it?
It doesn't help. I mean, they do go in. There's a lot of the clay court players, they don't have great volleys, but they have good hands, and they're able to finish points at the net. But mostly, it's a backcourt game. It's a topspin game. It's a slice game. What I like to see, there's a lot more variety. You got slice, topspin. There's a lot more tactics involved on a clay court game than there is on a hard court game.
This is my super number one question.
Yes. There it is. Let's hear it.
Does this help, or does ambidextrous tennis help you play well on a clay court?
On a clay court? Well, I think on any kind of court it would help you. What the ambidextrous does on the serve, it's got, you got the ball moving this way instead of that way. And only 10% of the society, Chris, is left-handed. Okay? So, 9 out of 10 players you play, if not more, are going to be right-handed. You only have a few that play left-handed. So you're not used to that serve. I remember recently Halep got beat by a
we saw that game.
The girl came to the net,
right,
where she didn't have an answer for passing shots, and then also her serve. She said, "I never got used to her lefty serve. The ball's just curving the other way."
Right.
And you can't really practice that. So if you're not practicing that, then it's hard to.
Hard for you to.
It's hard to play.
Right.
The same thing like when you play Federer. I think I told you this story.
Yes.
Working with Michael here in town. No, not Michael Chang, but Michael Russell, who just played with Federer, and we were working out with him. And when you play Federer, how is it when you play Federer? Well, he hits the ball, the underspin, it stays lower, than other players. So until you play Federer, you're not used to that. There's no way to practice against that. So
right.
That's about what it comes down to. With ambidextrous, keeping the body even, and really I'm into, especially kids 10 and under, if they're 6, 7 years old and they play for 4 years and they get, they play till they're 11 and they play it at a high level, their body, the bones, the muscles, everything's going to be bigger on that one side than the other. And you have somebody aesthetically imbalanced the rest of their life.
Right.
So that's what I do. I work on balancing their body, making them better athletes. And then also down the road, as they get older, if they do this their whole life, they're going to be a bigger threat. Why? Because they have more weapons.
So ambidextrous tennis not only helps you with your strategy and game, but health-wise, it keeps you balanced and strong.
Right. A lot of tennis players have rotator cuff problems and stress fractures. Talking with Sammy Giomalva when I interviewed him, even his son has a stress fracture in one arm. Not like that, but there's going to come a point where your arm hurts. Think of that. You got half the load. You could go half the load with the right hand, half serving, and half with the right. So you're staying a little more healthy. Wow. And then if you discover, they're having a hard time with my left serve, then you serve full-time left-handed. So that's coming. And then also one-handed backhand, two-handed backhand.
Okay.
Yep. So tennis, look for the French Open coming up.
Yes, sir.
It'll be all over the place.
Good.
There's qualifying right now going on, and I'm looking forward to it, Chris.
John, well, we got a couple of minutes left, and we just want to give the Texans our last hurrah. John, I think they have a better chance of winning this week, but I still believe they're going to lose 28-21.
28-21, you say.
Right. They're going to get closer.
Yeah, I haven't thought about a prediction. I guess I should have here. Let's go Texans 34, Steelers 31.
And I do believe that J.J. Watt will hit his brother Derek.
He's going to get one tackle.
I believe so.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure they're going to run.
That'd be so cool.
Tomlin's going to go ahead and run it up the middle.
Is he going to help him up after he knocks him down?
Most definitely. He has to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah.
So it's my brother, I would.
Looking forward to that. All right. And we'll see next week. We'll have the finals, NBA going on.
That is correct. And we'll have, hopefully, postseason for the Astros also.
The French Open will be starting. The Astros will be in the World Series, in the playoffs.
In the postseason, right. And we'll have, hopefully, the Texans coming home with a win.
Texans will be 1-2.
Right, and we'll have fans in the stands.
There you go. All right.
Woo-hoo.
The Edge.
Again, 11. Thank you for having us. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, John.
Yep. Everybody be safe. Take care.